So yeah, still Animal Kingdom here. And with Jay. So the archetype. You know, before I continue, right? You know, when it comes to Myers Briggs, I don't know if anybody knows of the concept of Myers Briggs and all that, but there are tarot cards associated with your Myers Briggs, and I feel like basically looking at the card you're associated with, it can show you a lot about your personality, why you are the way you are. And if you're looking to connect with court cards, or if you're looking to connect with archetypes in a different way, this is a really, really good way to channel that, you know. You might think that your archetype is like King of Wands, meanwhile it's like Knight of Swords, you know. And I can understand why, actually. I kind of made that reference. But then also the court cards are also associated with the astrological signs, right? So obviously based on the element, it's linked to, for example, water is associated with Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Why am I forgetting Pisces? Earth is associated, Earth, which is Pentacles, water is Cup, sorry. Earth, Pentacles is associated with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Air, which is associated with Swords, is linked to Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And fire, which is associated with Wands, which is associated with the astrological signs of Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So you can look at those archetypes and really work on them and see either where you're lacking, what the court cards can show you what you're lacking, what you maybe need to kind of put more energy towards bringing into your life, what you may need to work on, what could be a shadow within yourself that you did not know about until now. I don't know why I do half the things I do, but that just felt relevant. Okay, so Animal Kingdom, let's go. Jay. Jay took so long, guys. Jay took so long. I didn't see it. I did not see it. I'm like, you see, here's the thing. And I'm not saying that, you know, when you pull a page and a knight, obviously I've given the clue away, that you're lower than, you know. I feel like we're all at different stages in life, and we need to embody certain archetypes in certain situations, you know. So, and also context, like context is important. So when it comes to the page, right, pages and knights are very good at taking instructions, taking in information, dealing with that information, looking at what the information they've gathered wants from them, and determining how to move forward, right? So when we look at the page energy, right, which is what I've associated with Jade, page is really earth, and it's kind of starting from the bottom, right? Jay knows what it's like to start from the bottom. He knows the feeling of having nothing, this feeling of having to survive, you know, and making do with what you have to survive. And also one thing about Jay, he's very, very smart, you know. That's one thing we've noticed and seen, which is why when it came to Smurf giving him more responsibility, it was very, very easy for him to take on that role. If you haven't guessed it by now, I don't know what you're doing with your life, right? And Jay has shown that he's versatile, and I'm just like, you know, this earth energy is associated with the root chakra, right? So it's basically about dealing, like on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's basically about dealing with your basic needs: survival, shelter, food, water, getting that in order, you know, getting that in check. That is what the page energy of earth can be associated with, right? And when I looked at Jay, it only came up like season 4, and I'm like, look at it, it's Princess of Clouds, which is Page of Swords, and I'm just like, what? And I'm like, here's the thing, I'm like, Jay looks at Smurf You know, Smurf has a lot of archetypal energy that I've associated with her. I wouldn't be surprised if the character had like an Aries moon, especially because of the way she nurtured and cared for her sons. Aries moon energy is associated with this warrior mother, which I mentioned in the Baz video. But this warrior mother, this I will teach you to survive. That is how I nurture you. I teach you to survive, you know. And it might not be very cuddly, it might be very instant, and I may express my anger towards you in very shocking ways, but I still love you. It's the way I know how to love. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, basically. Now, Smurf, there's a lot of archetypes I've associated with her, and with the I'll get into that later. With the way Jay was looking at Smurf, he felt he could take Smurf. And I was like, here's the thing, Jay. Smurf is like king of swords, right? She has played chess. She has done the things. She knows when one piece moves where the other pieces need to go. She's always 3 steps ahead. And even when you think you're surprising her, she's still like, oh, okay. She's not going to be shocked and she's not going to give in. So Jay's observing her and he's basically trying to fill in that role. He's trying to jump from Page of Swords to King of Swords. And I noticed with Jay, I'm like, you know, with Page of Swords energy, we're all about like gathering the information, learning the things, taking the risks. But when we see that shadow aspect of the Page of Swords, we're like, yes, we're willing to take the risks, but do we know the consequences of those risks? Are we able to move, like, see the consequences of those risks? If not, then we're still not really, we haven't mastered that sword's energy yet. Because if you look at the Rider-Waite deck, the Page of Swords is holding the sword in one hand and he's looking away. Like, of all the pages, if you study the Rider-Waite deck, which I have, and you notice all the pages, all of them are focused on their element or their object. Page of Pentacles is focused on the pentacle. Page of Wands is looking and inspecting the wand. Page of Cups is looking at the fish in the cup, right? Now Page of Swords is the only one who's looking away. He is, well, Page of Cups is more like looking forward, but I digress. Page of Swords is the only one without a hat. His hair is just flowing. And he's not even looking at the sword. He's looking at everything that's going on around. He wants to take in that information. But if you don't know how to properly assess and process that information, it makes it very, very hard for you to move forward. And when you think that you're bigger than you are, when you think you're a king, but really you're a page, then you're going to see that break. The shadow aspect of this archetype, or of the archetype that you're embodying, is going to pop up when we think we're one but really we're another, you know. No, Jay. Jay. And that's the thing with Jay, we didn't expect it, but Jay has done things to survive, you know. There is like some pre-planning on Jay's part, if we're being honest, but I think when it came to getting his hands dirty, we really saw that Jay didn't really fully comprehend what he was doing, what it takes to be a king, to be on that chair sitting. You think you deserve the throne until everything around you challenges you and asks you, do you really deserve the throne? What makes you think you deserve that throne? No. Animal Kingdom. Okay, I'm just gonna like put like 2 notes. I'm like, so this is more astrological association. I'm like, Craig, in my head, you know, and this is not to say if you have these placements then you're in the pits. No, guys, no. Craig, in my head, I'm like, he embodies Neptune in the 1st house, you know, the way he's like always like he's always looking for a fix, and the way he's all over the place, and people struggle to see Craig's potential because they're projecting their perceptions of him onto him. And like, it's not their fault. Craig has like screwed up a couple of times. But I'm just like, you know, with Neptune in the first house, it's very hard for people to really see who you are, you know. And sometimes it's really hard for you to understand and see who you are. You just kind of take the ideas that people have of you and you make that you. But that's not to say that that is you. And with Craig, like, we noticed, or I don't know if other people noticed, but I was like, you know, Craig really wants to be a father. And the thing is with Craig, he asks around. He's like, no, what do you think? What do you think? And it's just like, I don't know how to reference myself for myself. I don't know how to take myself in. So what do you think? You tell me. And then I know how to perceive myself by the way that you perceive me. And I'm just like, Craig, no. And I was also like, the Neptune energy started to pop up for Craig when they were like hitting a church, and he was like, no, what about the karma? And I'm like, Craig, this you care? You care? Like, you think like that? Yeah. Darren shows the most growth. I'm still trying to figure Darren out, but we move.